Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. You know what it is? It is your predicted lineup. Arsenal up against Manchester United at the Old Trafford. It's you know what's interesting as we come into this game. Before we get any further, we've not lost a game against Manchester United in the last 5 games we have played against them. We have won 3. And we have drawn 2 times against United. Our record is not as clear in the past as it is now, because that means we've not lost a game to them under Mikel Arteta. I mean, it's really interesting. Absolutely, very, very interesting. If you look at how we've been suffering against United, and now how things are actually changing, we're going to this game as a little. I mean, I'm gonna say as favorites, absolute favorites. So, how should we line up, and how do we beat Manchester United? Which formation would you love to see? And of course, I'm gonna be giving you mine and what I think Mikel Arteta will go for. Because again, in my opinion, I still feel like Mikel will go for a 4-4-2. He played a 4-4-2 against Liverpool. There is no reason as to why he's going to change from a 4-4-2 to any other formation. I don't see how I don't see him doing that. He's growing more and more confident. With that formation, playing a back 4. A midfield 4, and then one support striker who would be your number 10, and then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as the lone striker. But the couple of things to consider in this game: Saka's fitness is number 1. Should Gabriel Martinelli start? That is point number 2 as we go at the Old Trafford. And then we have Ronaldo there. Of course, you have to be cautious about Ronaldo. So do we play a back 3 or probably a back 5? Kind of. I don't see the need to play a back 5 against Manchester United. Anyway, let's dive into my predicted lineup. But I would love you guys to get involved and tell me which players do you think should start for Arsenal there at the Old Trafford, and which players do you think should be dropped because they are not good enough. Let's get to it. Right, so here, guys, this is where we're going to be selecting the 11. I'm going to play a very similar formation to Mikel Arteta, but obviously I'm going to play something like a 4-3-3. That's the formation I'm going to go for. Almost the same lineup, but I feel like some players will have more responsibilities than others in this game. Of course, United, they played against Chelsea, and that was a very, very big surprise to Chelsea. I don't know how they did that, but they got a point against Chelsea. They were extremely disciplined. I think Michael Carrick got it right. Yes, there was a mistake from Jorginho. And look, they lost a point. They lost 2 points in that game through a penalty that Aaron Wan-Bissaka actually, caused. You never know. Probably they were never going to concede. I don't know. Because we didn't see Chelsea score from open play. Yes, they were close. They were that close. And Chelsea were that good. But it doesn't communicate anything. They didn't score in open play. It was a penalty, wasn't it? But anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to go with Aaron Ramsdale in goal. There's no question about that. I think this is one of the positions that we have to be, qualifying, right there. Of course, Fabrice Mwamba has just come out and said, he's the best goalkeeper in the league right now. Look, still, I think Newcastle didn't have a lot of work to do. Liverpool, he had a lot of work to do. But one thing we know about him now is whether it's a big game or a small game, we can rely on him. And that's the good thing about Ramsdale. We can rely on him whether it's a big game, whether it's a small game. And of course, in this one, he will have to do some important saves. I think the likes of Rashford, the likes of Ronaldo, the likes of Greenwood, if he's available, then Jadon Sancho, they will pose some threat. They will have shots on target. They'll have shots on goal. The likes of Bruno, and to match them, you need to have a very, very good goalkeeper. Ramsdale for me is world class at the moment. Unless he drops, he's absolutely world class at the moment. The man who was actually robbed, Gabriel, is fine. So he will be playing against Manchester United. I told you that in the latest video. He was robbed by gangsters coming out of nowhere. He was coming from a party. But Gabriel and Ben White, I think their maximum concentration here is going to be on if Ronaldo starts, it's going to be on Cristiano Ronaldo. That will be their maximum. I mean, that's going to be the target. That's going to be the ultimate prize for Gabriel and Ben White. And for me, look, Ronaldo is a prolific striker. We know that. He's one of the best players in the world. 5 Ballon d'Ors, one across a period of a decade, and that shows you how good he is, despite the fact that there's been a lot of competition in there in those 10 years, especially with Lionel Messi. And the fact that he scores a lot, and the fact that he gets into those areas, and the fact that he has that individual brilliance. Yes, United can provide for him as a team, but again, he's got that individual brilliance, the timing. He's deadly in the in the air. He's deadly on ground. He's a deadly striker. So I think Gabriel will have a tougher night, to deal with, than any other players. Now the question is, do we play? Should we play Nuno Tavares or Kian Tierney in this game? If I look at United, honestly, not to disrespect them, but when I saw them against Chelsea, they played underdog football. It's the same thing against Villarreal. They're really afraid of conceding because they know the moment they concede, the game is absolutely over. It's say that they're going to concede more and more, or they're just going to be on damage limitation. Now, they're playing an Arsenal that is not the best side in the league, so I don't expect them to play or to be on damage limitation, mission all the time. So what I'm going to say is we should play Kian Tierney, despite the fact that I love Nuno and has played very well in the past around 4 games. But for me, this is a Kian Tierney kind of game, right? Because again, I mean, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not that explosive, and he might not be of great danger. But again, you've got to give them the respect they deserve. They have Ronaldo, he could use that wing. They have Bruno, he could use that wing. So I'm going to go with Kian Tierney because of his defensive ability and the fact that he can track back well, but also going forward, he's fine. I mean, we might be excited about Tavares, but for me, during the big games, I just feel like Tierney should be the man that occupies that place. And of course, the big man, Tomiyasu, I think it would be Marcus Rashford up against Tomiyasu. I don't expect a lot of trouble because, again, Tomiyasu is very fast, very strong, and Rashford really looks underfit. Yes, he's come back well, scored a goal against against Leicester City, and then he scored one against, scored one in the Champions League. Which game was that? Was it Villarreal? I don't think, was it Villarreal? I don't think it was Villarreal. Which other game did they play after Marcus Rashford coming back? Okay. I think they played Villarreal. Yeah, look, Russia has come back well, but I'm really going to say this, 1 or 2 things. One is Tomiyasu is solid, and at the moment in a great shape to defend against Marcus Rashford, because I saw him pocket the likes of Harvey Barnes and Maddison and Vade. He can't do it. He can't do it. We all know the quality Tomiyasu has. And the only flavor he has to add to his game is go forward and trying to create more chances, and then be that kind of player that can cause that excitement, that kind of excitement going forward. But he's a very, very good player. He's actually coping up well with the league, right? So the midfield 3, there should be this shouldn't be a problem, and I think this is where we win the game. Partey, obviously, is going to be a normal suspect or a usual suspect as well. The Albasam Lokonga as well, and then I'm going to call for Martin Odegaard to come back, because look, I'm going to explain my reasons as to why I go for Martin Odegaard over Alexander Lacazette again. Lokonga, Partey, no questions there. Are there any questions? And I feel like if we play Lokonga and Partey and have a very good game, win the midfield battles, win the midfield duels, because again, United, their midfield is absolute shambles. So if you win the midfield battles, probably McTominay and Fred and Matic, I feel like we can beat them. We can beat them in terms of in midfield. Lokonga with the defensive work, and then Partey with the distribution. I think we will need a player like Martin Odegaard. This is what Chelsea didn't have over the weekend. And many people are really asking, are going to ask themselves, I mean, how did Chelsea fail to beat United? They had all the possession in the world. They had everything in that game. But how did they fail to beat Manchester United? For me, it's the deal breaker. They didn't have a deal breaker. Mason Mount, I feel he should have he should have been introduced earlier. He should have been introduced earlier by Thomas Tuchel in that game. Felt like he could do a difference, but they lacked. For me, in that game, the only player they lacked was Mateo Kovacic. Because again, you want to have that player in your squad that sees something different. That player that can see something between the lines. Again, for me, it's Kovacic for Chelsea. Yes, Jorginho is a good passer, but again, I mean, he's a usual passer. His passes are so usual. Who else played in that midfield for Chelsea? It was Jorginho. It was Loftus-Cheek. Yes, he could do the job. Loftus could do the job, but he failed to do it. And for me, I thought it was a little bit awful. Probably Buckley could have been a better hope in that game. And then the likes of Hudson-Odoi, again, they were not so lethal, in that game. And then the likes of Reece James and everybody else. But why I want Odegaard to play in this game for me is the deal changer, the deal breaker. That we are gonna pass this ball all around, and Manchester United will have maximum concentration. But then you need that little bit of individual brilliance, someone to break through the line, someone to make that pass, just like we saw Tomiyasu to Martinelli over the weekend, just like we saw Nuno Tavares to Saka over the weekend. You just need that little bit of difference when your opponent is thinks they're under maximum concentration. And when teams are under maximum concentration, because United, with all due respect, they've done this for a long time now. They've been underdogs for almost 2 footballing months or 3 footballing months. So they know how to play low block. Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this, but they are United, aren't they? But they know how to play low block because they've been doing that for the last 3 footballing months. Right? So you need someone to break them. Chelsea didn't have it. They couldn't break them. But again, if you look at Liverpool, the games they've lost, Liverpool, how they were broken down, it was Keita. Again, Keita just, proving to be the difference. Manchester City, of course, Ike Gundogan again, that goal, absolute beauty. Cancelo. I mean, you just need those, those breakers. You just need those kind of, players that can create something different. And of course, talking about players that can do things differently, let's go and talk about Emile Smith-Rowe. Who plays on the left should be Emile Smith-Rowe. Of course, it's no longer a question now. This boy is just exciting. So Smith-Rowe had a poor game against Liverpool. And a very, very poor game against Liverpool. And then I felt like he's not yet bounced back. Other players have bounced back, but he didn't really bounce back against Newcastle. And I thought against Newcastle, I was actually going to do even better because Newcastle really provided a lot of spaces to run into, a lot of lines to break and things like that. But again, I didn't see him do that. But against United, he has the chance. Run at Bissaka, run at Telles, run at Shaw, whoever's going to play in those wider areas, run at them. I feel like they are vulnerable, and Smith-Rowe, being one of the best players now in the league, again, you've got to show your brilliance in big games. We've seen him do it at Chelsea, Boxing Day last year, who's absolutely magnificent there. But again, look, United are really going to suffer. And that's all I'm going to say. Unless there is a bit of a surprise, they will really suffer, right? So then, right wing, if Saka doesn't play, because Saka is a little bit of a doubt, according to Mikel, he will have to get through last minute assessment. So I'll go with Gabi Martinelli over Nicola Pepe. Look, for me, Pepe is meant for games like this, but he's not done it. That's the truth. He's not done it, and he's not missed. Martinelli, for me, like I always said, these young players, it's all about how you reward them. It's all about that little, those little steps and reinforcing them with progressiveness. So if Martinelli gets a good game against Newcastle, right from the 60th minute to the 90th minute, that is good. Try to give him the first 60 minutes now and see, can he get a goal? Can he get an assist? Can he cause lots of trouble? Because for me, again, in such games, you need players that are different. You need players with individual brilliance. And then I'll go with Alexander Lacazette up top. I mean, look, there's no player that shouldn't be undroppable. Aubameyang at some point in time, it needs to be dropped. He needs to be dropped. Because for me, these are games where you need to take your chances. United did it with Chelsea. They got it right. They won the game. You need to take your chances. So look, I'll play Lacazette, Smith Rowe, Martinelli up top. If that is only if Saka is not there. But if Saka is there, then it should be Odegaard, Partey, Lacazette, Lokonga, Smith Rowe, and Saka. Let me know in the comment section below, who do you play for Manchester United and what is your prediction? I'll see you in the press conference reaction then.